Welcome into the Sports Objective Podcast as we have 50 Pirates in 50 days. And Bubba Rosenbaum is here, obviously. And then we have a guy that played under the Ruffin McNeil era, and that is Maurice Falls. How are you, man?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Great to have you on 50 Pirates in 50 days as we honor former Pirate football players getting ready for the season. It may not start on August 29th, but it's definitely going to happen. I'm going to stay today. I'm positive. You know, Maurice, every day, it depends on what day you ask me. Yesterday, I was a little bit negative about everything. Today, I'm positive. It's been a tough situation with COVID-19. First of all, how you doing? How are things with the world of COVID-19 for you?
Everything good. I still been working every day. Just taking care of my family. Just taking a day at a time, just trying to get better and better. Still, that's about it.
That's all we can do, right? Is do our best, and some days our best is better than others. But I'll speak for myself. Let's talk about coming to East Carolina and Greenville. Did you get recruited under Skip Holtz, is my guess, or was it Ruffin McNeil? Skip Holtz, right?
Yes, sir. I got recruited by Skip Holtz. I'll be honest with you. At first, I really didn't know who East Carolina was. I heard rumors of him because after Chris Johnson ran that 40, everybody in my high school was talking about it, and I was a track star too, and I heard everybody was talking about it. And then I believe it was the summer before my senior year of high school. Nike Republic came out to my high school, and they was out there timing us in 40s and shuttles and stuff like that. And then Kirkpatrick had somehow walked out there. Didn't even know he was coming. I lined up, ran my 40, and I see this little man come up behind me. He goes, Coach Kirkpatrick. He was like, "Hey, stay by your phone. We're gonna give you an offer." I'm like, "Wait, are you serious?" He was like, "Yeah." He said, "I done seen enough." But yeah, I got recruited by Skip Holtz. Graduated high school early after we won a state championship. Was in ECU the next 2 weeks later. But yeah, as soon as I got there, Skip Holtz unfortunately went down to USF. So then that's when Ruffin McNeil came in and got the show on.
So how did it feel? I know that you didn't play under Holtz, but how did it feel going from the recruitment of Holtz? And my understanding, and help me out on this because you were there, my understanding is that Ruffin McNeil did a nice job. We didn't really lose a whole lot of guys that were coming in with you. He did a nice job of recruiting you guys. In other words, he didn't take for granted that you guys were going to stay. You guys could have left because you're signing with Holtz, and oh, by the way, I get here and Holtz is out of here.
Yeah, I think I had got in there. It was me, Jeremy Grove, Darrell Johnson, Diablo Simpson, Justin Dixon, Diablo Simpson, Boogie, and Justin Dixon. All of us that came in at the same time. Oh, and Alex Owa. And as soon as we got there, I just remember everybody. You know, first of all, everybody was upset about that Liberty Bowl loss. So you know, a couple with the team about that, and all of a sudden, like the next day, because when I first got up to ECU, Skip he welcomed me and everything. I'm thinking everything about to be good. I done graduated school early. I'm about to play for Skip Holtz. I'm about to probably get to meet Lou Holtz. I'm like, okay, everything going good. And the next day, Skip said he was going to Florida, but everybody kind of understood it though. I mean, because his family was close there. I think he was having like some family problems at the time, so it was very understandable. But when Ruff did come in, it was kind of difficult because I didn't know anything about Ruff. I just know he was a part of Mike Leach's crew. Be honest with you, it's kind of hard to adjust because I feel like, honestly, at the time, I feel like I just wasn't a player that they was really wanting. But sooner or later, I just adjusted to the situation, and things kind of worked out for me later on. So, but a lot of players did end up staying. Some did leave. But at the end of the day, Ruff a good man, so we made things work. So, yeah.
Let's talk about that. We're huge fans of Ruffin McNeil, even if he's got that red and white on now with NC State. We still love you, Ruff. Not kidding. I'm joking. That's a little different, but we totally understand with his dad not doing well right now, and he has a house in Clayton. Yeah, I have no. I'm just teasing him when he's a very good sport. What kind of guy was he to play for? And as far as a coach, I know Coach Rick Smith always would say, "You got to go live." That's what he was saying to on Pirate Radio, and about practicing with tackling, for example, the live piece. I know you don't want your players hurt, but at the same time, you play like you practice.
That's what Ruff believed in. me and the teammates still talk about it. It's like some days I remember Coach Ruff would just start over practice because if he didn't like the way it looked, we could probably have like just like 2-3 more minutes left of practice, and we've been at it like 2.5 hours. If Ruff don't like it, we just go back to like phase one. And I'm just like, man, like, are you serious? But he was a man that, I mean, you practice what you preach. He's a very simple man too. If you just do the little things, that's going to add up to the bigger picture. But he always spoke of this basically being comfortably uncomfortable. Like, even though it was times where we thought it was hard, I mean, it turned out to be a good lesson for all of us. He was real down to earth guy. He was real goofy. A lot of people might not know that, but Coach Ruff is a goofy man. We always had laughs. Anytime I had like time in between classes or weights, something like that, I always go to his office and me and him just be sitting there laughing the whole time. He was a cool guy. Very family oriented. If I think that's one thing most people know about him. He's very family oriented. I think that's the one thing a lot of coaches don't have nowadays. I feel like most coaches just treat it like a business. I mean, it is a business in most aspects, but a lot of those players really don't have like families that they can go to, so they look for the coaches for to fill in that space sometimes. And Coach Ruff really did fill in that space for a lot of people because if you need anything, Ruff is right there waiting for you, to help you out. And then I love his family too, man. His family is really cool. His wife, his daughter, his dad, the whole family is just nice. It kind of reminds me of being home. He always called. He always picked on me for how country I was, but I was like, come on, coach, like, man, you ain't that far away from me, so. but now he was a real cool man. Very humble. Really ain't got nothing bad about him to say. Just a good dude.
Yeah, I like him a lot, and you'll never hear me say a negative word about Ruff. I've always been a huge fan of him. I think the reason being, Maurice, is the very fact that he's real, and the fact that you were talking about, it's like he's so down to earth, the fact that you believe him, and that's why you guys will play hard for him because he's like a dad. There's Bubba Rosenbaum, ladies and gentlemen, joining us now. 50 Pirates in 50 Days with Maurice Falls, talking about during the Ruff and McNeil era. And I know that one of the great things about that era was there was a lot of wins, a lot of great wins during your time. How hard is it right now? We've had 5 straight losing seasons. How hard is it a player, man, to see the program it's going in the right direction now, but it got to be really, really low after you left?
Yeah, it was tough, man. Especially I got some friends and family members that ended up playing at A&T, and A&T came up there and beat us. And I still hear it to this day. Everybody was talking about, we would have beat y'all team. And I just look at them like, man, first of all, don't get that brave because that 2010 to 2014 Pirates was a whole different story. Because after that, I don't know what to tell you. But I really feel like, lately, I feel like ECU kind of ran away from the basics. Because anytime if I didn't make it to a game, I always watch the games whenever I could. Most of the time I was working on Saturdays, so I watch the replays of the game. I felt like we just basically just trying to do a lot of exotic stuff. We just kept going away from the simple things. If you can't count the 1, 2, 3, why are you worried about 4, 5, 6? You just got to keep it simple, keep it basic. It does hurt, but then again, you just got to have that pride for the school because the ECU has had its years where it's down, but then it had its years that it's up. So you just got to stay positive. Now we got Mike Houston, so I feel like that's gonna get going pretty soon. So I got faith for us, but it does hurt. Past few years, basically we was ranked, beating Power 5 schools, lost some games my senior year that I felt like we should have won. Lost by field goals. It was just Hail Marys. It was, yeah, man. So it was. I'll say it was stressful because, man, I was looking at my senior year and I was like, man, I really don't know how anybody beat that team. That South Carolina game, I still don't know how they beat us, honestly, because I actually met who was that? Mike Davis, the running back. Yeah, Mike Davis. I ended up meeting him when I was training for the NFL, and he was like, you actually took that ball from me, the fumble, what they called unsportsmanlike conduct on me somehow, when I just stood up with the ball in my hand, and then they ended up getting the ball back, and they ran out the clock. I still don't understand that to this day, but yeah, that game, the Temple game, their offense only had like 100 yards total and somehow beat us, but we had a lot of turnover that game.
Was it 5? It was 5 turnovers, right? It was that rain up in Philly.
Yeah, and they had like,
and we were ranked. That's the last time we've been ranked in was that game,
yes,
and then we lose that game, and that was so depressing because I'm like, we were so much, and in my opinion, not the Temple of now, but we were, in my opinion, a lot better than Temple then. It was just the fact of those 5 turnovers.
5 turnovers. They had, I believe, they had like only 5 rushing yards. Like it was like, I was like, oh my god. But yeah, then we lost to who was that? Cincinnati. That was just on the last minute of that game was just not too sure what happened with that game. And then we had the UCF. Man, I thought we sealed that game up, but I'm still not too sure what happened with that Hail Mary. But and then we had the Florida game, and I swear I be trying to tell people to this day. I said, yo, that ECU team we was running with SEC teams. I don't care what anybody said, but that showed that that school has a lot of pride, and Power 5 or not, we was able to run with anybody because if we could beat VTech after they beat number 2 Ohio State, I feel like we couldn't run with anybody. So.
And Ohio State won the national championship. Remember that year?
Yes. See? Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm a huge fan of obviously our fan base. I think we got the best fan base. We got the best. I mean, the best of the best, and basically just comes down to that now with experience. You got a lot of young guys on the team now, and Maurice, I really believe. I know that with our last guy that we had on, Matt Semenza said we're going to scored a lot of points. He was from the Logan area, and I agree with him. I think that the offensive side of the ball, man, is going to be a lot of points, video game number points. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be a great thing. So we may be able to steal a few games that most people were not giving us credit for right now. I love Phil Steele, but you never know. This has been such a crazy year. Hey, this has been such a crazy year with COVID. Anything's possible, right? I mean, for us to have a winning season,
anything's possible. It just like they just got to keep it simple. And like I know a lot of them games they lost. It was just like after a while, it's like why y'all just give up? Just keep playing. It's just like the game's so simple. Like all you gotta do is get like maybe 2, 3 more 3 and outs, and just get the ball back into the offense. Because when I played, that's all we had to do. I know if we gave Coach Riley the ball, we scoring. So, but I really do hope we do got like we got the quarterbacks. What's it? Houghton, Monster. We got running backs now that's like 6'2", 6'1", 200 pounds. That's okay, about time. So that's one thing I wish ECU would kind of get back to. We got to establish a run. Just establish a run because once you establish a run, then people they're gonna start baiting the run. Then we got the weapons to throw it at. We got CJ at the slot. We still got Pro.
Yeah, Blake Pro, Tyler Sneed.
I like Sneed because I believe it's either Sneed or Pro. They kind of remind me of Danny Webster. Y'all remember Danny?
Oh, Danny Webster, yeah.
Wow. Definitely Tyler Sneed. Yes,
Danny. Yeah, that's when I seen him play. I said, okay, is that like a little Danny Webster I see? Because people keep forgetting about Danny Webster. Danny Webster was a monster. He was a monster, but I do got faith. We just gotta finish the games. Just listen to Coach Houston. Don't get caught up in the momentum. Just keep go with the game plan. Just keep it simple. The 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep going in order. Don't panic anything like that. It's gonna be times where you're gonna be uncomfortable. But then again, all that training you've been doing, all the weights you've been lifting, all the time you've been in studying film, all that's gonna come into play. Just gotta be patient. Just finish the game. Just start off strong and finish strong. So,
and I have a quick question, Bub. I know you want to talk about his career, but I'll put you on the spot, Maurice. Here, I love video games. Who was the best at Madden? Was it you, or who on the team during your time was the best at Madden, or any other the NBA 2K or the?
Man, to be honest with you, me and Big Terry Williams used to get in fights all the time. We used to argue so much because like I'd be at his apartment. We also trained for NFL together. Like we stayed in Charlotte together. Like we used to argue all the time because I swear Terry used to put like some cheat codes or sliders on the game. Big Red, Krishan Rose was pretty good. Reggie Bullock, he was pretty good. I'd probably say those were the best ones. Sometimes Dayon Pratt sticks. He was pretty good. I ain't like playing with him because he's from like Baltimore, so he gets to talk junk. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna shut up. So I'm just cut the game off. So yes, sir.
We can switch now, Bubba, to let's talk your career, the real football. And when I said video game numbers, it made me think about certainly with Madden and all that. But and maybe one of these days we'll have an NC. I missed the NCAA game, but that's a whole nother.
I do miss that.
I'm not going to get on that topic. That's obviously. I think that's that topic's going to work itself out. Bubba, I know that you want to talk career and with like kind of breakdown, Maurice, if we can, a year by year, a little thumbnail sketch of each year of your career, starting out with 2010 with Ruffin McNeil, first season of McNeil, and we made it to a bowl game. That was a great way to start. I didn't expect that, but we did with how about that NC State game? Is one that comes to mind, that Russell Wilson.
Yes, Magazoo with the pick at the end. That was a fun day and a fun night. I will say that. So, but I think my freshman year was it's pretty interesting because at first we had Coach Nelson. A lot of people might not remember, but he was our defensive line coach and linebackers, special teams coach. He actually he left the team before the season started, and he actually wanted me to play as a true freshman. And then when he left, Coach Yerlock came in. So then I ended up getting redshirted, but it was pretty difficult. I was being bounced around everywhere. I was a DN, linebacker, and then I actually played offense too on scout team, running back, tight end, and receiver. And somehow I ended up with the scout team MVP that year over Justin Hardy and Shane Carter. But I will say this, there were some monsters on that scout team. You had Shane, you had Reese Wiggins, you had Justin Hardy, Alex Oa. Yeah, it was days where it was a pretty monster scout team because each day was like a game. So, but it was a very learning experience because we had like players like we was going against like Josh Smith, we had Dwayne Harris, Dominique Davis, Big Willie Smith, Bradley Jacobs at safety, Travis Simmons at corner. We still had ED. It was just meeting and being able to play with guys like that. That's what we kind of playing with guys like that. That's why we kept the momentum going through the time that we was there playing. So, but yeah, I would say freshman year was a very learning experience, and then plus we had Coach Golden still at strength and conditioning. I think that's where I started really realizing how strong and fast I could be. So that they helped me out with developing too. So, but that season was pretty good though. We had a lot of ups and downs, especially when we played like teams like Navy and things like that. But it was a very good, productive season. Then we did make it to the Military Bowl. So, yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, like you were saying, Maurice, that 2010 team, even though you did have quite a bit that had been lost from the previous season, you still had guys like Travis Simmons and Josh Smith, Dwayne Harris, to name a few, that had been a part of that championship culture under Coach Holtz. So they were able to keep the ball rolling despite all those losses in terms of letter winners from the 2009 season. But one of the things I wanted to mention to you, I know you were talking about Coach Ruff as I joined the show, and I know you were, like you just referenced, kind of a hybrid guy between defensive end and linebacker. So just talk about were you kind of going back and forth between Coach Yellock's room and then also John Wiley, or how did that work?
So basically, after my freshman year, they put me down at DN. I was with Yellock that year, the 2011 year, and then after that year, I guess they were like, okay, this guy, even though he's big, he can run. So then I actually, matter of fact, I want to say freshman year, they basically had me at DN. I was with Yellock that whole year, but then after that 2011 year, that's when I went with Coach Wiley, and I was at middle linebacker. And I was behind Daniel Drake and Jimmy Grove that year.
Oh,
yeah, so I got in a rotation a little bit with them, and then after that, they moved me to outside linebacker, and that's when I was with Coach Price from then on. So, yes,
talk about Coach Wiley. Coach Wiley is someone a veteran in the coaching ranks. I know after his time on our staff, he was a coordinator again out at Western Carolina for a few years. But give us a glimpse behind the scenes at Coach Wiley, because I know Coach Wiley had a lot of success up at App State, and then I know Clip Rock on Pirate Radio, he referenced what a fun guy Coach Wiley was to interview.
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, one person I would never fight or try in my life is Coach Wiley. That little man right there will beat the biggest man down in the world. Like I'll never forget the first time I actually met him. Like, I'm like, yo, he's so small, but he's so big. It was weird, but he wanted to, like, everything that man knows is from pure experience. And if you don't listen to what he's saying, you're going to get it completely wrong, because everything he says is to make you better, honestly, because his knowledge of the game is ridiculous. It's like his second breath. Like, he knows it like the back of his hand. Like, it's just ridiculous. But now he's he's down to earth, but he's just so passionate. His passion is ridiculous. It's like I don't know how to explain it. Like, if you're a nerd like me, if you ever watch like Dragon Ball Z, it's like he's like a Super Saiyan all the time. He just like, his energy is just ridiculous. But he's very smart. Like, he one of those people. It's like he's like almost like a psychic. He knows the play before it's even going to start. I think that's another reason why, like, Brandon Williams and Zeke Bigger was so good. Like, even though Brandon Williams and Zeke Bigger were already hell of athletes already, and Jeremy Grove and Kyle Tudor, linebacker, even though they were already good athletes, having somebody like Coach Wally come in and give them that knowledge, that just made them even better athletes. So, and I will say the little bit of time I did have with him, that did make me better too. So I will say I'm thankful to be able to play for a coach like that, and especially, I mean, he went back to back at App State. I mean, you can't get no better than that.
Right. And you referenced some of those guys you play with, like Brandon Williams, Zeke Bigger, Jeremy Grove. It was a shame Jeremy Grove had such a successful start to his career. It was so heartbreaking to see it end the way he did with the injury.
Yes, sir. That was like one of my closest friends. Between him, all the linebackers, we all just hung out with each other. But me and Grove, we came in together that January. We was always if he went somewhere, I was right there with him. But we even in the weight room, we lifted weights together. And then all of a sudden, they told me that he might not be able to play the next season. It hurt me like it was me. But I do wish that he could have played more and finished his career out, because a lot of people don't realize this. Grove would have went to the league. He would have been one of the top picks. So.
Yeah, no doubt. Jeremy Grove, tremendous player, and you referenced Zeke and Brandon and the numbers they put up in 2014, 2015. I guess just maybe 2014 Zeke played in 2015. I'm trying to remember. Was Brandon a senior in 14 or 15?
14. My class.
Okay, so yeah, Zeke had, I want to say that junior season or redshirt junior season of Zeke, so he had something like 130 or 40 tackles.
I believe it was actually his redshirt sophomore year. I believe that's when he got ranked as like one of the top linebackers, and then my senior year, that's when he had all the eyes on him. He had even a better season, and then the 2015 season, I think, the last year was rough. Yep.
So during those years, I mean, after redshirt, and you were able to see some time on special teams and some spot starts. I know you started a game here or there, and then so just talk about the first time getting on the field in a reserve role.
It was back to so my first game on special teams was against South Carolina and Charlotte. And that atmosphere was crazy, and especially my first game I get to play against, South Carolina. They had Stephon Gilmore, Jeffries. We was actually winning that game, and then all of a sudden they put Garcia in. I don't know what happened. But it was pretty good. I was nervous at first, but I'm one of the people after the first hit, I started coming too. But I learned a lot that my freshman year. It was difficult because I was at one position, and they might need me somewhere else. They put me somewhere else. I really didn't get my first start until what was it, later on that year against Marshall, and that's when I had like the back-to-back sacks that game. I think that was the game when Aaron Dobson had that crazy catch over. That was ridiculous. I'll never forget that. But
I remember. I think it was number 1 on SportsCenter
for years. But I would say there's a lot of people, always acting like, why did you redshirt? But then again, like, redshirting, I mean, maybe I wasn't, coach had seen something, maybe I wasn't ready. Maybe I had to get stronger, maybe I had to get faster. I did have to get better mentally. So I will say my redshirt freshman year was a big eye-opener. It let me know what I needed to get better with, what I needed to do for, following seasons, to get better. So,
right.
But yeah, yes, sir.
So in 2012, after a couple of years, and we'd been to a bowl, but then ended up your redshirt freshman year in 2010, we went 6-7. Then you referenced that Marshall game. We were right on the verge of a bowl, but lost that season finale up at Marshall in overtime, or maybe it was even double overtime. So going into 2012, really need to put together a good year. You guys really played well down the stretch, went 8-4 in the regular season. What are your memories of that year?
Which you said 2012 season?
Yeah, 2012 when we went 8-4 and went to the New Orleans Bowl.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty fun season. That's when I had my first start at Sam linebacker against App State. That was a pretty fun game.
That was a hot game.
Man, hot wasn't even a word.
Everybody falling out with an IV.
Yes, they said it was so hot. They said a woman had a baby in the stands. They said I don't know how many people was passing out. It was ridiculous, but it was a hot game. But it was pretty fun though. But nah, that 2012 season was pretty fun. Actually, I had some pretty fun. Yeah, it was pretty. Man, I would say that 2012 season was a pretty fun year. Then being able to end it in New Orleans. New Orleans is a great city. I'll be trying to tell people. I say, yo, if you want to get some good food and listen to some good music, just go to New Orleans. But yeah, that 2012 season, I think that was really the season that also showed us, the caliber of weapons that we had on that team, and showed like all the knowledge that we had gained from like previous players before. Because like 2012, we didn't have like Dwayne Harris, nobody like that. But we did have we still had Hardy, we had Reese Wiggins, we had Mike Price. 2012, Danny Webster. I think Lance Lewis is gone.
2012 was also that was also Tay Cooper's coming out party.
Yeah, good old Coop. Oh man, that guy's something else. So, but yeah, 2012 was really the season that I guess where everybody's like, okay, yeah, ECU. I guess if we see them on the schedule, we have to buckle up because the boys coming for us.
And you talked about Danny Webster earlier. When I think of Danny Webster in that 2012 season, you had a tremendous, or he had a tremendous game, I should say, against Houston. When we were coming off a loss at home the previous week to Navy, and after that loss to Navy, you had Houston coming in, and Houston had a decent ball team, and Danny Webster had at least 2, maybe 3 touchdown receptions that day.
Yes, sir. Man, one thing I always wish is like Danny Webster would be able to finish out with our team, because Danny Webster actually made our team better. A lot of people who didn't know Danny, his spirit spoke more than what actually he did speak a lot. That's like that little joker did talk a lot, but his spirit spoke way more than anything. And when it came to the team, he was always down doing anything for the team. I mean, I remember like Danny just getting everybody hyped, especially on special teams. Danny was like just hitting people. Danny was only like 5'6", 5'7", $135, $140, but he was out there hitting guys that were like 6'3", 6'4", 250 pounds. Like they were like branches, like little sticks, just snapping them left to right. But yeah, like I just one of those players because he reminded me so much of like a Wes Welker type player.
Yeah. Yeah, he and Tyler Snead that's playing for us now, that's a redshirt sophomore that we discussed earlier. They're definitely from that Wes Welker mold. And in fact, enough time has passed. I mean, this wouldn't matter anyway. But you talk about Wes Welker. Of course, Coach Ruff was at Texas Tech when Wes Welker was there. So I remember hearing stories about how Wes Welker, he had maybe played a little bit of a role in helping us get Danny Webster.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I didn't know Coach Ruff, Coach Wes Welker. Well, he went to Texas Tech.
Right. Of course, Coach Ruff was on the defensive side of the ball, but he was at Texas.
That's crazy. So he had Wes Welker and Michael Crabtree.
Yeah, and Cliff Kingsbury that went on to coach them, and obviously whoever they had at quarterback was throwing for 4.5, 5,000 yards.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I tell you what, that's one thing you can say about Coach Ruff, him and his staff. No matter what they done came from, like they gonna play some ball. Somehow, way, even with little play. The best thing I can say about playing with Ruff and them, you might not have no big name plays, but somehow, some way, he gonna make y'all come together and y'all can get something out of it. So,
right. And one of the things that you've heard a lot, or we've heard a lot, is we've talked to a bunch of you guys, like Robert Jones, that played offensive line prior to playing defensive, or after playing defensive line during those years. Trent Tigner, who was an excellent punter.
Oh man, I love that guy right there.
Also, Chip Thompson, who was an excellent safety. We talked a couple years ago to Adonis Armstrong. But the common denominator amongst all those guys, they were just talking about how it was truly family. Like when they visited other schools, that you just gotta. It was all business. It was all football. But at East Carolina, Coach Ruff truly cared about the person.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. He did. We were a big family. I still talk to a lot of guys to this day. I still see Justin Jones a lot. That's one of my good friends. I was in Reese Wiggins' wedding. It was me, AD, Ty Holmes, Adonis Armstrong. I still speak to Rio Johnson every now and then. Trent Tigner, he calls in on me, checks in on me every now and then. Zeke Big and Brandon Williams, those are my cousins, so I'm still I still stay in contact with them.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So we actually had Zeke on here. I guess it's maybe about 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
we knew Zeke would be a heck of an interview because I remember when he was playing, Zeke never shied away from a microphone being in his face.
Yeah, man. One thing about Zeke always want to be in the spotlight. He's just goofy, man. He's just a people person as well. So, if you want to have somebody to talk to, just hit up Zeke. Zeke gonna talk. He gonna talk to you. Sure.
One of our loyal viewers and listeners, Johnny Gardner, chiming in. He said, "Watch Danny Webster play about 5 positions in a game when he played for Shaw. Extremely impressive."
Oh yeah,
I appreciate you pointing that out, Johnny. I didn't realize that.
Danny Webster. People don't notice, like, when it came to like special kicks, Danny Webster, he was actually one of like the guys that came in and do like a squib kick. He a lot of people, he could punt. He returned kicks. He played running back. He played slot. He played 1 and 2, which is outside receivers. A lot of people don't know he could throw too. He was good. I think he played quarterback in high school. He was pretty good at that. And he actually he could play safety too. A hell of a safety, I will say that. A really good safety. And he played just about every other position on special teams. But yeah, he was he was a monster. I would say I always tell people, Danny Webster is probably one of the best football players I've ever seen.
So in 2013 and 2014, just talk about in practice. Obviously, Shane Carden has become the quarterback, the starter there early in the 2012 season and led us to those 8 wins that I've already mentioned. But just talk about the battles in practice, and obviously we would have a scout team quarterback, but maybe more so in spring ball going against the likes of Shane Carden and some of the back and forth there with the tremendous offense that we have.
Man, Coach Ruff used to always speak to the defense before every practice. He said, "You're going against one of the top offenses in the nation, so y'all have no excuse not to get better." But going against those guys every day, I'm not gonna lie, I used to get tired of it. Cause it's like, coach, like, man, they just air raiding us the whole time. Like, we're like the team we about to play, they about to run the ball, but we got to go against these guys right here, and they just throwing it deep. They got Hardy running his simple routes. No matter what Hardy ran, you can know what Hardy about to run, but somehow he's still gonna catch it. Zay Jones came out of this the most humble kid, comes out of nowhere. Just a baller. It was so many guys on that offense. I mean, I could just keep naming people. Breon was just so shifty. It didn't make no sense. Then we had another running back named Corey Hunter. A lot of people really didn't realize, but Corey Hunter was one of the strongest guys on our football team. But every day, I mean, I will say that that offense did make me better. Because that 2013 season, I started realizing, that's when I think that was my heaviest. I was at East Carolina. I was 265. And I was playing Will linebacker, and I was behind Darrell Johnson. And Darrell, he showed me a lot. It was difficult, not being able to start. Cause I felt like, working out with Coach Connors, I got faster. Somehow I was 260, but I ran a 4.4. My bench press was up there. My squat was up there. You know, I thought I had everything in order. You know, like coach, I'm ready to play. But then, you know, I still got this freak of nature named Darrell Johnson in front of me. So, but you know, I still got my fair share of touches on defense. But I did play special teams. But being at practice with Shane and them every day, it got kind of rough. People don't know. We actually did a lot of up downs at practice because we used to go defense to offense, used to go back and forth at it all the time. Like you just hear us, it'd be like a random fight in the corner. All of a sudden, you hear a rough just come out of nowhere with that whistle, chop them up, and we just do up downs for like 20, 30 minutes straight, and then restart the period over. And then it's like, man, like I'm so tired, and like Russ, like, oh, now y'all tired, but y'all had all the energy in the world to fight earlier. So, but yeah, man, if y'all don't remember Pitbull, y'all remember Pitbull, Will Simmons?
Oh yeah.
Going against that man every day, that will make you either go crazy or it will make you stronger. It may be both. So that was, man, he was I would say this, the best thing about going against, top it off, we went against Lincoln Riley every day. That's arguably probably he is top 3 coaches in college football right now. Really top 2 if you he really number 1. Because I mean, go out to Oklahoma and turn that whole program around to put them right back where they used to be. So and then Coach Riley, he was a cool dude. That dude right there was so laid back and just so smooth, so cool. Like I was like, man, like I would love to play for him. I actually it was times where I thought about, you know, going and speaking to him, talk about, you know, playing some tight end and whatnot. But I just stayed on the defensive side. So but yeah, that 2013 season was it was pretty good. We lost a lot of talent too after that year, but 2014, that's when we locked and loaded on them. We really came, you know. A lot of people thought, some people really didn't think, you know, we was gonna do that well because, you know, we went to that new athletic conference, a lot of people talking about, you know, like, oh, like, yeah, like what are y'all gonna do? I'm like, dude, like, we just beat NC State the year before, just beat Carolina, like these big power, like if you Power 5, like, that's just an excuse if you ask me. Like, I mean, they gotta line up just like we do. They gotta put the pass on just like we do. I mean, we're just gonna hit them harder, you know. That was really just about it. But 2013, after that, but 2013 we did end on a good note. We won a St. Petersburg Bowl against Ohio. Yeah. And I would say that St. Petersburg is probably one of the most funnest times I ever had. That was really a good bonding experience with the whole team and the coaches and the fans, whatnot. So 2013 was pretty good season, both practice and during game wise, because if we didn't practice the way we did, we wouldn't have won a lot of those games. So.
Yeah, in 2013, your redshirt junior season, maybe you started 2 or 3 games, but you were playing a decent number of snaps, and just talk about, from a guy who I'm assuming you and Maurice talked about this early on when you were talking about your package. You were out of Western State. You were at South Point High School in Belmont, in the greater Charlotte area, and very traditional program there. So you're coming in, and just talk about having the opportunity to go to Ken Stadium and put that 55-31 spanking on the Tar Heels.
Man, you talking about senior year when we put 70 on?
No, junior year when we went into Ken Stadium and put 55 on them.
Oh yeah, man, that game right there was pretty. That game right there was pretty crazy. When we went to UNC. Because UNC just talk a lot of junk. Man, I don't know what was with those guys. Like, they just stay talking. They were talking about, this East Carolina Super Bowl, things like that. I'm like, dude, like y'all really don't. I mean, y'all really not that. I mean, y'all good. Y'all UNC, but I'm not gonna lie. UNC was good because they actually had this running back AJ Blue. AJ Blue played for North Gaston, and that was like one of our rivals down here, down in Gaston County. But after we won that game, I think that really set the tone for the team, because a lot of people was like, they weren't really expecting us, go in and beat UNC like that. But we expected it, right. Like Ruff always said, I mean, if you train for it, and then you get the you get the basically the result that you was training for. Well, I'd be surprised after. So,
Right.
But yeah,
Like
man, it was a
like you're
go ahead.
saying though, as far as the whole, they basically had the built-in excuse, at least what they wanted to use as an excuse. The whole it's East Carolina's Super Bowl instead of just shutting up and playing the game, and
Yeah.
they were more. Hey, if we if we lose, I mean it's because it means more to them. Well, that in my opinion, that's part of the game. I mean, you have to if you're good enough, you're going to overcome that and win the game anyway.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, I don't know why I remember my senior year when we put 70 on them. They was talking crazy that year too. I'm like, man, like I really didn't know what was up with them. I'm like, bro, like what?
Yeah.
Like y'all talking crazy as all, and then y'all come here, y'all put 70 on them, and then we put 70 on them.
I want to say he was number 7, but it was Tim Scott was his name, and Breon Allen talked about it, and then I'm trying to remember somebody else in that team. I don't know. I'm trying to recall who it was, but maybe it was Zeke. Zeke was talking about how Tim Scott was just talking, and like you said, we had a billboard up in Greenville after that with the score 70-41 on it.
Yeah, man, I really still don't understand. Yeah, because I remember I had an interview after the practice before the UNC game. They showed me the video of Tim Scott just talking. I'm like, dude, like, I'm not really the person to really talk. I just like to show up, just show what I can do. Like my high school coach always said, talk don't cook no rice. So basically, I don't know, man. It was just ridiculous, because he was talking crazy, and then after the game, they tried to interview him. He ain't had nothing to say. I'm like, bro, like, yeah, all that to say before. I mean, but what happened after? But honestly, though, a lot of those guys from UNC, they was pretty cool, though. I mean, that just comes with the game. No, a lot of people gonna talk that talk, but I mean, if you're gonna talk like that, I mean, you at least gotta show up with it,
Now I know you said AJ Blue was also from Gaston County. Did you get an opportunity to? Or do you know him at all? And because I know after that game,
oh yeah,
I had no idea whether AJ Blue did this or not, but I just remember a lot of the Tar Heel players headed straight for the locker room instead of shaking hands with y'all. And
I know because AJ Blue was his senior year in 2013, not the year we put 70 on him. But yeah, AJ Blue after the game, he spoke to us. We all show respect to each other. AJ Blue, one of those guys, man. Like he just got the respect because like what he came from, the things he done did. Like AJ Blue, like man, people still talk about him down here. He was just one of the best things that came out of Gaston County. But yeah, some guys, they went straight to the locker room. But a lot of people don't know. Like a lot of times, like on weekends, especially during the spring, a lot of players came out, hung out with us. Marquise Williams, he hung out with us a lot. He from Shelby. He a really cool guy. Who is that? Some of the basketball players used to actually come hang out with us too. Yeah. Everybody was cool, but I guess when it came, to football, we kept, try to treat it like a business or whatever. But other than that, everybody was still pretty cool with each other. So
nice. So we talked about some of the top memories. Is there a specific game that really stands out, whether it's from a team aspect or maybe more so for you individually, that you felt like there's no doubt this was my top game?
See, I didn't really have top games. I just had like a lot of good moments. Like the Southern Mississippi game where the quarterback tried to outrun me, and I just hawked him down. I just tackled him from behind. Actually, I had 3 forced fumbles that game. A lot of people don't know, but my junior year, I was actually ranked what was that? Yeah, I was top 5 in forced fumbles that year. And,
now you're talking about the 2013 game against Southern Miss when we blew them out in Dowdy Ficklen.
Yes, sir. That's the game where Reese Wiggins took those 2 screens for like 90 yards. But I want to say my most memorable game for me is Virginia Tech. When we went up there and we beat them after they beat Ohio State, because they really thought they were just gonna run all over us, but nah, that didn't happen. So that was a pretty fun game. That game, the UNC game, and I want to say probably one of my first starts against Marshall when I had those 2 sacks back to back. That was pretty fun. So, yeah.
So Maurice, tell Pirate Nation, you've been gone from East Carolina, I guess, 5-6 years now. So just tell Pirate Nation what did you major in, and what are you up to now? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you're back in the Charlotte area, correct?
Yeah, I'm back in the Charlotte area now. I'm just working. Work for this company called Dry Pro. Got a little trade job. I basically doing construction, just working with concrete. Pretty good money though. So if anybody looking for a job, just hit me up. But I actually had it's been like some people still hit me up. Cause I still like working out, whatnot, still running. When people see me, they're like, "Oh man, like you still got it." Like, nah, man. I'm just staying in shape. I got a daughter right now, so yeah, recently had a daughter. She's 2 now. Her birthday was July 4th. Just been working, taking care of her. Just basically, I always tell people this. People ask how I'm doing. I say, yo, I'm just a fish in a pond looking for a river. Trying to find my outlet right now. Because after football didn't work out, even though I had the degrees and whatnot, it was still kind of hard to find like a job with and whatnot. But I just stay positive. Just keep smiling, keep living life. Just stay positive, man. At the end of the day, that's really about it.
Yeah, I apologize. After your time at East Carolina, like you said, you had a solid senior season. I want to say had maybe 5 PFLs and 2.5 to 3 sacks. So just you had the opportunity to play some football after East Carolina. So tell Pirate Nation about that.
Yeah. So after that, I tried out for the Carolina Panthers. Ron Rivera actually liked me. It's a crazy story about that. So my agent at the time had set me up with this local trial with the Carolina Panthers, and he called me out of nowhere. Thinking like, "Yo, you got to work out with the Panthers tomorrow." And I'm like, I got nervous because I was like, "Oh man, like the Panthers, like, that's kind of a dream, because the Panthers, I could probably like throw a football. Well, it is close, but I can't throw a football at the stadium, but it's pretty close. I thought, I was like, man, I'm just like a hometown kid, get to try out for, the Panthers. But I went out there. The coaches said that Ron Rivera was in the meeting looking out the window, looking down at the workouts, and he seen me run a 40. He stopped the meeting that we was in. He came downstairs. We just got done running 40s and everything. I'm thinking we're about to leave. Ron Rivera gets all the coaches back out, and he brings out stopwatches. And they tell me to go run my 40 again. I run it again. And I look up at Ron Rivera. I just see him smiling. And then he puts me through some linebacker drills and whatnot. And he just looked at me. He was like, "Yo, how come we ain't never heard about this kid?" And I was like, "Man, well, I'm not too sure what to tell you about it." But I had a pretty good experience with Ron Rivera and the Panthers. And then after that, I ended up going to the Dolphins to their rookie camp. I felt I did pretty good, but I guess, business is business. And then after that, I really didn't get another workout with another team. And then like 2 years later, I got a phone call about playing arena football for this new Charlotte team called the Energy, and I did that. I made like the All-Star team and all that. I thought I was gonna get like a CFL opportunity, but that didn't happen. So basically, just kept working. So yeah.
Yeah, one of your fellow linebackers, Bigger, of course. We like I mentioned, had him on the show here probably 2 months ago now. But Zeke is saying just he's still grinding, trying to get another opportunity.
Yeah, I got faith in Zeke. That's one thing. I think that's what separates Zeke from a lot of people. His work ethic, and he's loyal to himself. So basically, every time I talk to Zeke each week, he's working out still, staying in shape, just staying ready. And that's what I think a lot of us lose. We just don't stay ready. But I mean, football is. Like they say, NFL stands for like National Football League, but it's really stands for like not for long. So a lot of us had our opportunity. A lot of us, a lot of people don't really get their foot in the door. But I would say Zeke, his calling coming. He gonna be good. He just gotta stay consistent. Just keep believing in himself like everybody else believes in him. He'll end up back on the roster, because if you ask me, anytime I'm watching these football games on Sunday, I'm like, man, there's a lot of people I know that could be on these fields right now.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully Zeke will get that opportunity, like you say. But if not, I know you guys will be successful. But Maurice, we appreciate you being so generous with your time, spending so much time with us this evening. Definitely wish you the best moving forward, and maybe we'll have you back on the show sometime down the road.
All right, yes, sir. I appreciate the opportunity being on your show, and go Pirates.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. Take care.
Yes, sir. Have a great one.
All right, you too. That is former East Carolina linebacker / defensive end. Like we referenced in that interview, he is or was one of those hybrid guys. So definitely enjoyed Maurice coming on the program. I appreciate his time. Earlier today, if you did not already see it, definitely go back and check out our conversation with Matt Semenza. Matt played linebacker for the Pirates back in the mid to late 90s, 94 to 97, during the Steve Logan years. Defense coordinator Paul Jett, a lot of excellent defense played by the Pirates in those years, and won a lot of football games, averaging 8 wins a season from 1994 to 1996. But as you see there on the bottom of the screen, give us a follow on Twitter, The Sports OBJ, and then on Instagram, The Sports Objective. Like and follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, and we'll be joining you tomorrow night as we'll catch up with diehard East Carolina fan and a guy who is a close family friend of ours, Chandler Honeycutt. Had season tickets, he and his family growing up where we did in Section 15. And so look forward to talking Pirate football with him, as well as a surprise guest on Friday evening about 8:30 right here on Facebook and YouTube Live. Until then, we appreciate you tuning in. And as always, go Pirates.